We've all done it. Tried to center our lives around something that just couldn't hold the weight. If I could just land that job, if this relationship would just work out, if I could get that house or that car or that, whatever. But eventually it all breaks down. The job, it doesn't deliver like you hoped it would. The relationship, it doesn't fill the emptiness. And the stuff gets old fast. And so we chase the next thing only to continue encountering disappointment after disappointment, because our lives were never meant to revolve around things. They were meant to revolve around the one thing that can shoulder the weight of our hope and desire. That's God Himself. That's exactly what God began restoring in the wilderness with Israel. After freeing His people from Egypt, God didn't just lead them out to survive. He invited them to a new kind of life, one that wasn't centered on fear or slavery or survival, but on His presence. We read about in Exodus 25:8, God's talking to Moses and He says, "Have the people build for me a sanctuary and I will dwell among them." This wasn't just about carving out space for God. It was about building everything around Him. And honestly, this isn't just Israel's story. It's ours too. Because you see, the world, it offers an endless buffet of things that we can center our lives around. Success, productivity, comparison, security. And I know what it's like to wake up and realize I've built my days around the wrong center. Even when I know better, I drift back there all the time. And Israel, it wrestled with the same pull. You see, they were free from Egypt, but they were still living like slaves. Their hearts still struggled with who to trust. And that's why God, He didn't just give them food and water. He gave them the tabernacle. Israel built a tabernacle, this sacred tent where God's presence would dwell. And God, He didn't just ask them to build a tent. It wasn't just about that. It was a micro Eden in the wilderness. This is a garden space. It's a huge deal. It's a place where heaven and earth once again met and touched again in micro form. And every detail whispered God's presence. The golden lampstand shaped like a tree, cherubim stitched into the curtains, a basin of water cleansing and offering life. And at the center was the Holy of Holies. This was the hot spot of God's presence. It was like the tree of life. It was holy, it was guarded, it was set apart. And this sacred tent, it wasn't pushed to the margins of the camp. It was planted right in the middle. Every tribe, every tent, every daily rhythm revolved around God's presence. By day, a cloud hovered over it. By night, fire blazed up above it. When God moved, the people moved. When He stayed, they stayed. God wasn't distant anymore. He was right there, shaping their pace, their patterns, their priorities. The tabernacle makes it clear. God does not belong at the edges. He belongs at the center. And this isn't just about Israel, it's about us too. Because many of us, myself included, we believe in God, but we still build our lives around other things, whether it's career or relationships or achievements or security. And we try to fit God in wherever we can, but life only works when everything is built around His presence. That's how it was designed from the start. And so the question is, what's at the center of your life? What do your priorities or your rhythms or your decisions, what do they really orbit around? Because if it's anything less than God, it's not going to hold. And it won't satisfy. God doesn't just want a place in your life. He wants the place. You weren't made to scrape by. You weren't made to just exist. You were made to live close to Him. His presence shaping everything about your life. Jesus, the God who once filled the tent in the wilderness, He's calling His people to build their lives around Him. And so start there. Start with Him at the center, because that's where real life